Greetings and welcome to another episode of Strange Truth with your host, Akiba. It's a very strange thing that's happening in the world today. Who you going to vote for? The election is coming up. You going to vote for Kamala? You going to vote for Trump? Well, in actuality, it really doesn't matter who you vote for because the president has no executive power. There's something strange behind the scene, an unseen hand that rules the world, that controls every industry that you are familiar of. The utility companies, the news channel media, entertainment industry, politics, finance. The global economy is controlled by a group of families, a bloodline that they share, and anybody who is not of this bloodline is sheep prepared for the slaughter. They are undesirables, useless eaters, and this is what they call humanity. There's a centuries-old, very powerful and sinister secret bloodline that has been parasite the human race. This bloodline has gained control over the planet Earth through very crafty means such as hijacking monetary production and distribution, charging pernicious usury for using its private banknotes, really debt notes, buying up, bribing, and compromising almost every government official, controlling the major mass media outlets, engineering conflict and wars, and deploying other much more sophisticated eugenics and covert operations to thin the human herd and maintain control. This plan has been called the Globalist Agenda for Creating a New World Order, NWO, and it is so unimaginably evil that most just cannot comprehend its wickedness or its reality. This is in part how it can be kept hidden. It's a secret. That's why they use the media. They use the lie that you have a voice when you really don't. Why would you actually think that they would give you a voice? Conspiracy researchers have found evidence of an operating agenda of the ruling oligarchs and have come to the conclusion that it is exceedingly and unimaginably evil. Keep in mind, evil by definition is anything that hurts the innocent or inflicts needless death and suffering or violates other basic God-given natural rights to exist and pursue happiness. Evil is as evil does. The ruling bloodlines have targeted the human race for radical depopulation and eventual replacement by a new, synthetically created android species driven and hived by artificial intelligence or hived digital cyber consciousness. And we see that now. We see how artificial intelligence has taken over. When you go to the grocery store, there's a self-checkout line. You have your phone on you 24 hours damn near a day. Even at nighttime, you have it near you. This is the beginning of what Elon Musk was talking about. He was going to build the human race into cyborgs. It's more efficient, financially efficient, mechanically efficient, industry efficient. If you have an AI working for you, it can't complain. It doesn't complain. It doesn't take off. The only thing that you have to do is spend money on maintenance, which is rather cheap considering all the money that they pay for the useless eaters to constantly consume. The empowerment of the bloodline people is through the worship of the black sun, which some call Lucifer or Satan. But we have to bear in mind that this bloodline, they do magic. They're into the magical arts. But when you do magic, it is not necessarily evil or good. Those are relative to the individual In most likelihood, it's just another reptilian ET, a royal winged Draco sort of entity. Bloodline leaders appear to become anointed and empowered by this force of unimaginable evil. If they are willing to violate the most serious ordinary human norms and codes of decency in order to feed this parasitical monster, however, they must do it in secret while maintaining a normal outward appearance in order to avoid the peasants with pitchforks. And some close to the top bloodline circle of power have claimed that when one is initiated into the inner circle, they receive their own personal spirit guide, who appears to them privately and telepathically and serves as a crime counselor, advisor. It is quite well accepted fact. It is a well-accepted fact that those initiated into the top circle of control in the bloodline, the establishment hierarchy, have engaged in satanic ritual, child sacrifice, pedophilia, and child vivisectioning. These blood rituals have persisted for centuries and are largely feeding rituals for a reptoid species who have a taste for adolescent humans, as we learned in the previous discourse. Now, this reminds me of the Gnostic scriptures, the Gnostic work about the archons and the demiurge, the spiritual astral parasites that feed off humanity's degradation. There are spiritual parasites that constantly feed off human beings' negative and miserable mental and psychological condition. How can we overcome this? You may be thinking, overthrow the government, but do you really think that the government has anything to do with controlling you? They are just following orders from a hierarchy, the oligarch that controls the world, the royal or not so royal bloodline. With yours truly, your host, Akiba. Is it possible that the oligarch is being used by a higher function, a higher council? And it's not strange to me that the Nag Hammadi library text, which talk about the demiurge and the archons, the spiritual parasites that feed off humanity's degraded state of mind. In 1947, French scholar Jean Doris described the discovery of an ancient scroll at Nag Hammadi, Egypt, as being a rare Gnostic text. Gnosticism is considered the one true faith and became an underground branch of Christianity. Gnosticism also is labeled by the scholars of a body of teaching derived from the mystery schools of pre-Christian antiquity. The Gnostic texts describe the archons, who are non-physical entities that feed off of negative energies such as hatred and fear. This control grid is still very much in place today. This explains why you'll never feel good after watching the nightly news or reading the headlines of any given newspaper. Archons are, most of the time, dangerous intrapsychic mind parasites, just like most of their Islamic counterparts, the jinn, used by the occult elite for centuries, and more recently by the intelligence agencies to trick and manipulate humanity. Physical descriptions of the archons occur in several Gnostic codices. Two types are clearly identified: a neonate or embryonic type and a draconic or reptilian type. The inorganic alien type is not a physical entity that can be seen in our third-dimensional reality, obviously. The latter description fits the gray and reptilian ETs of contemporary reports very closely. The Gnostic creation myth is unique too, in that it includes an expansive explanation of how inorganic alien beings came to be present in our solar system. The Gnostics taught that these entities envy us and feed on our negative emotions. Above all, they attempt to keep us from claiming and evolving our inner light, the gift of divine intelligence within, by keeping us fighting within ourselves and with others. When you sit back, a wise mind will contemplate, why does the world have so much war? Why does every living thing have to kill or inflict pain on another living thing in order to live? We eat and we kill and we eat. Even vegetarians, even vegans, meat eaters eat meat from cattle. We all kill. Even animals kill to live. Insects kill to live. This dimension that we exist in seems more like a predator and prey type of realm. It doesn't seem too divine, although we can take a gander at the golden mean and Fibonacci sequence, and we can see that mathematically and spiritually, in essence, that this world line is alignment with a divine source, yet it is clothed with something else, something sinister. Digging deeper, the Nag Hammadi material contains reports of visionary experiences of these initiate Gnostic mystics. These Gnostics were like the Jedi on Star Wars. They had psychic abilities, extrasensory perception, telepathy, including first-hand encounters with inorganic beings called by names such as the Archons. Gnostic teachings explains that these entities arose in the early stage of formation of the solar system. Before the Earth was even formed, Archons inhabit the solar system, the extraterrestrial realm as such, but they can intrude on Earth. In fact, they exist in the astral world. A lot of people think that the astral world is the end-all to be-all. Yet it is only one realm. In fact, a very dense, lower spiritual realm. It vibrates at a low frequency, higher than the physical, higher than the etheric realms, yet lower than the higher planes, the causal planes, the divine intellect, divine mind planes. The Gnostics said the Archons could affect our minds by subliminal conditioning techniques. Their main tactics are mental error, intellectual virus, or false ideology, especially religious doctrines and simulations. You see, because they get your attention by giving you a God that you can't see, yet you believe in this God. And this causes a psychological condition within you of insecurities, because you seek something outside yourself to save you. You give your power to something outside of yourself. This is a low vibratory emotional state of being in which these spiritual parasites love to feed on. Archons are predatory. Unlike a wide range of non-human and other dimensional beings also know to the Gnostics, the latter being benevolent or neutral toward humanity. Let us all prevail, and the great work is at hand.